right. Hello. Welcome back to the New Black. And of course, this is my little honey hole where I muse, ramble, and reimagine the Black experience through the eyes of the millennial Black woman. And I am her, she, Christy, your host. If this is your first time, thank you for coming. And if this is not your first time, welcome back, sis. I missed you, girl. I hope you missed me. And before we jump on into things, we are going to start this episode the way we always do, with our Lux libation of the night. So let's get into that. Tonight, Sea Stone Riesling. If you watch my Lux Lush wine tasting series, we're gonna dive into the details about this, or we already have, just depending on when you're watching all this. I don't know, but yeah, we're gonna give ourselves a little pour one up for the homies, girl. All right, cheers. Clink, 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 clink. Little ASMR. I'm doing things a little differently, so I don't know if my listeners, if you can hear that, is great. I hope so, but if not, sorry. I'll work out the audio kinks a little later. But yeah, if you're watching, hey, I appreciate it. So cheers. So tonight, of course, I have my notes. Yeah, so I'm a little more organized. But anyway, so I want to talk about something near and dear to me. And I want to share, I feel like as a woman, I'm pretty poised, feminine-ish, but or I won't say that. I am pretty feminine. And so I was kind of going back and forth about where did I get all this from. And the pillars of femininity and grace were the women in my family for me. Like, they about their business, they get their money, honey, they get it popping. But that's just something the women in my family have always been. But femininity and grace, when I think of it, I think of them. And of course, I go back to, I guess, the root. It's always the root cause for me. And I think I tap into my femininity and grace the most. I think about the love of my grannies. Like, for sure, it's the love of my grannies that have really given me that energy, and that I tap into that. When I want to be feminine and graceful, I tap into that love. Like, I go for it. And I have always been pretty close to both of my grannies. A little backstory, all of my grandparents are alive and well, thank God. And they will be alive and well for a good amount of time longer, God willing. Not in my plan, but they're all pretty healthy. They're in their right minds. They're moving a little slower these days, because some of them in the 80s, they get into the high 70s, living life. But I'm really close to both my grannies, both my mama and my daddies. And as I've grown, I realize how much their support and love means to me, and how much it has really shaped me. Like I talked about in my family episode, I truly come from a village. My mother was and is an amazing mother. But I don't care. I don't know where the hell we'll be without these grannies. We needed them. The aunties as well, the granddads. But these grannies, whew. Both of them are my queens, nurturing and stern, never met a stranger. But my mama, my Granny Alice, that is my motherfucking girl, y'all. She is my girl. Like, not to play favorites, the one and not the two. I hate to say it. But I say that because me and her have a level of closeness that's different. Like, we talk about any and everything. We talk on the phone like we homegirls. Like, that's my girl. She was the one who exposed me to so much, encouraged me to dream bigger, bigger than her wildest dreams, bigger than my wildest dreams. She was the one that pushed me to believe that I could be more, I could do more, I could see more. And it's funny because she divorced my grandfather, who I also love dearly and speak to regularly. It's no hard feelings, ain't no love lost, ain't no shame. The year I was born, and honestly, as I grew up and matured and I grew into the person I am today, I also watched her grow into the version of herself, or a version of herself that I'm not even sure that she dreamed she could be. But it is the version that I'm sure she desired to be had she not become a wife and a mother at such a young age. She married a man who she wasn't sure was right for her. As I already stated, he clearly wasn't, y'all, because they got a divorce. But honestly, I think it's a beautiful thing and a blessing to get to watch a queen blossom alongside you while nurturing you to do the same. So, honestly, as I've gotten older, met more people, friends, even family members, it's become very apparent that a lot of people aren't blessed with the opportunity to see their mothers or grandmothers in a light of growing and becoming the type of woman they dreamed about, or the type of woman that they didn't even dream of becoming and they did. I'm not sure that many of us get that opportunity. So I know it's a huge blessing and I'm so thankful. It's a very unique experience and I do not take it for granted. Honestly, as I've gotten older, it's become very apparent to me that that's a truly unique experience in itself, to not only watch your mother but your grandmother grow, evolve as women, recognize when they was wrong, correct their mistakes, blossom, become the best version of themselves, watch them transition through different life periods, because I've literally been there. I've watched them go through these things, and it's always encouraged me to grow that same way as a woman. And I realize now, like, that's super unique. Super unique. And it's something not many people get a chance to experience. And I hate that for them. And I'm not even talking about the actual blossoming and watching them grow and experiencing this, but just the love of a granny. Like, so many people, and to no fault of their own, may not have gotten a chance to experience the love of their granny or being around their granny. And as somebody whose granny meter is overflowing, especially growing up in a small town, like my family's all kind of been in the same place. It's a very matriarchal system, meaning heavily dominated by women. The women run shit. It's not. It's quite a bit of men, but the women run shit. On my dad's side, my mom's side, same thing. I've been surrounded by that feminine energy and love all my life. And watching my grandmother spearhead the family as she's become the oldest woman living has been interesting to see. And so, with that being said too, I love to try to share the love of my granny with other people. I love to introduce people to my granny. They love her. Actually, both of them. They love both of them, but they especially love my granny Alice because she's sweet, she's wild, she's crazy, she's young and full of energy. People just love her. It's electrifying, but she still loves you like a granny. You know what I'm saying? She's still a granny, but you know, it's just different. And so I think she loves to do that too, because I think people need that more than they actually realize they need it. And so, since my granny is not here, and I might try to do another podcast episode where I sit down with her and let her talk to y'all and give her, you know, shoot the shit, talk her crazy, because she be saying some crazy shit, y'all. Let her do her thing on here someday, but since she's not here today, I just want to share a few lessons about womanhood that she, along with my other granny, have either taught me, embarked in me, sparked in me, helped me learn, helped me realize, encouraged me to, or just them pushing me has helped me become the woman I am today, who I think is actually pretty lit. So I think I want to share it with you all. And I might not have always listened to some of these things. However, eventually I did, and it still was useful all the same. So hopefully you'll listen and you'll figure it out, unlike me and being hard-headed and shit. So let's talk about my things that I learned. All right. First up, and this is probably my favorite lesson about womanhood and finding your best self, living your best life as a woman. It is love your family, but love yourself first. Y'all heard that? Love your family, but love yourself first. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And you can't nurture those around you when you are malnourished. Honestly, you can't even pour from a full cup. You need to be overflowing in order to trickle down and spread all that love, support, energy, all that. And those 2 points are different, but they illustrate the same thing. If you malnourished, you ain't got no energy, you're struggling, you're falling, you can't do nothing. So remember that. Love your family, but love yourself first. All right? Can we feel that? All right. Okay? Also, take care of you, but never be too prideful to let others do the same. Take care of you, but never be too prideful to help others do the same. And this applies to everyone you love or takes up space in your life. Your man, your kids, your family, your friends, your job, the people at your job, your clients, your neighbors, whoever, everybody. They can all get requests for help. Everybody can pitch in. This is a team effort. Don't let your pride have you out here struggling, drowning, falling, dying, suffering in silence. if you don't open your mouth, because we can't honestly rely on people to just offer help, because that's just not the way things work. And just because people don't offer you help, you should never assume that they're not going to give it to you. If you don't ask, you don't receive. Not even from God. If you don't ask, you don't receive. So that's my point 2. Point 3. Your strength as a woman is not measured by how strong you are. Honestly, that was a word. And again, some of these things are not things my grandmother or grandmothers have directly said to me. But some of these are lessons that I've learned watching their journey in womanhood. Watching their journey as they've grown as mothers and grandmothers and women. I've seen these things, and I know it's like some of these are just life lessons I learned from watching and observing. Not anything anyone's ever told me or anything like that, just observing. Being soft is one of the strongest things you can be. Keep your softness no matter how hard life gets. I'm going to say that again. Being soft is one of the strongest things you can be. It's where you're most vulnerable. It's where you're most powerful as a woman. It's where you thrive. Not just live, not just survive. You thrive in your softness. Keep your softness no matter how hard life gets. And honestly, when you stay soft, life gets a lot less harder because you're not fighting against who you naturally are. A beautiful, soft queen. Don't let anybody convince you otherwise. And finally, just live your fucking life for you. Don't worry about these other people, your mama, even your daddy, your granddaddy, your kids. Don't live your life for them. Live your life for you. And I guarantee you their life will be so much better. Because living for others only leaves you with regrets that even time can't erase. Because you can't get that time back, baby. And you don't want to be living with them demons. You don't. So, whew, that was deep, y'all. I didn't even know I was going to get that deep on y'all like that. But, you know. Unfortunately, my granny or grannies, they are not here to wrap their arms around all of you that are listening and or watching. But I promise, if they could be in here giving hugs to everybody walking around, anybody listening, if they could pop up at your door, pull up on your job, come to your mama house, they will come and give you some hugs and some granny love, maybe a little food. Who knows? I know they would. But I hope that these lessons have brought you just a teeny bit of comfort and a little bit of love from me and my grannies to you and whoever else is listening or watching. If you know somebody who might need a little bit of granny love and wisdom, share it with them. Please feel free to tell your friends, to tell a friend, send this to them, and give them some love. So, tonight's word of the night, or the day, I guess, depending on when you're listening to this. But as y'all can tell, I mostly record at night. I went with Queen Mother. And that's because that's exactly who our grannies are. Our grannies are the Queen Mothers. They are truly our leaders, our confidants. And with their guidance, we have to recognize that we too will be queen mothers too someday. And so we need that energy and love. So my word of the night is Queen Mother. And if you got your queen mother, your granny, your big granny, love on them, kiss on them, get whatever advice you can get, because it's no other love like it. It is my favorite genre of love in the world. No shades to the mamas and daddies. I love y'all too, but that granny love hit different, okay? So I just want to say, if this episode has resonated with you, be sure to subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, give this video a like/thumbs up, where so I can know that you enjoyed it. And wherever you're listening to this podcast, if you on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, all the other places, please be sure to subscribe and give it a listen, give it a share. And definitely, like I said, send this to a friend who might need a little granny love and wisdom today or tonight. And also, let me know in the comments what part really resonated with you. What did you feel? What made you miss your granny, or what made you want to call your granny and be like, damn, that was a good lesson? So let me know in the comments. Wherever you're listening, watching this, just let me know in the comments. Go leave me a comment on Instagram, wherever. I'm not even sure that I know where all the comments are. However, I'll find them, girls. Just leave them. So that's going to be it. Until next time, I will see you. Cheers for my watchers and listeners. You can't see me, but we're cheersing. Clink, clink, clink. And I will see you on the next episode.